You're listening to the Empowered Divorce Podcast, where you practice being the chooser in your life again, one day at a time. Thanks for joining me. Hello, my amazing listeners. How are you today, or tonight, or whenever you're listening? Thanks for being with me. As I sit here in my office, those of you who are watching on YouTube can see I'm in my office, and this is where I work, where I spend most of my day, where I record. And I sit here before I hit the record button to just take a moment and I center myself. I get in this space where I really feel like I am with each of you, where we're in the same room, or we're on a walk together, or I'm sitting shotgun as you're running around picking up kids and doing errands. I want to look at each one of you, and I imagine myself just looking at each one of you and saying, I promise it gets better. I want to look at each one of you and say, I see you and I hear you and I believe you. It can feel so lonely to walk this road, but keep walking. Do not give up. It is so easy to just want to throw in the towel, right? Especially when you think that you're making progress and then something or someone behaves poorly again. And you might think, I just can't do it. I just cannot do it anymore. Or this isn't working. I'm trying so hard to do all the things and it just isn't working. I'm still getting hurt by him. I'm still getting injured, or things just aren't working out the way that I want them to, or thought that they would work out. But there's just too much unknown ahead of me. How can I do this? Am I really capable? Can I really be that woman who's brave enough to do that hard thing? Well, that's what I want to talk about today, bravery. My hope is through this episode, really every week that I put out an episode, is that when you listen to this podcast, when you listen to other women, that you feel the contagion of bravery. Because when we are living in fear, or when fear is trying to live in us, we need to surround ourselves by those who are also practicing to be brave. Bravery is deeply psychological, but there is a lot of physiological aspects that involves managing our emotional and physical responses to fear and tapping into that bravery. And I'm going to touch on both today. And truth be told, I had this topic come to my mind as I was watching a video that my son-in-law has sent me of my granddaughter. She is, 20, almost 2. So it's about 22 months old. She is a mover, a climber. It is fabulous to watch, let me tell you. But she is very busy. And he sent me this video of her climbing up those really thin metal bars, right, at the playground that lead to the top of the platform, where she climbs up and gets to the platform and then goes down the slide. And she loves the slide. And so he sends me this picture of her climbing up, and I'm watching her climb up on her own, right? He's standing back videoing her, and she's got 2 hands on the bar, and takes one foot, she sticks that one foot up on the bar, and then she reaches up and grabs another one and pulls herself up, and you see her little legs moving one bar at a time. And the whole time that I'm watching this video, I'm doing the typical grandma thing and making grandma noises, right? I'm like, ooh, ah. And all I can think is, oh my gosh, she's going to slip. Oh crap, she's going to lose her grip. Oh geez, she's going to fall backwards and hit her head and get knocked out, and all the things, right? As I'm just watching this video and I'm talking back to my phone. I'm the one that looks like a crazy person. And I'm just observing this little person climb up on this platform all on her own. Her dad patiently watches, allows her to exercise her bravery. Bravery without the limiting brain like you and I have. And as I watched her accomplish her goal, slide down the slide, then away she goes to try again, I was in awe and envious of the brain that doesn't fear. So I want to give you 5 things to consider today that will support you in your practice of brave. because we all need to practice being brave. It's not going to come naturally to us anymore, as those of us who now do have fear brains, that motivational triad in our brain that was designed to always look for ways of how things aren't going to work out because it believes that it's going to save us some energy if we don't fail, right? So your brain is designed to do this. It takes some time for it to kick in. We live in a world that is also not going to be very helpful. Maybe today, as I go through these things, you can even recognize how brave you already are. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for the brave things that we're doing, even though I am not sitting here in a room, unfortunately, looking every single one of you in your eyeballs. I would imagine that if you really stopped to reflect on the steps that you have taken to get you where you are right now, you would see the bravery that is already in you. You would see the steps that you have taken to be brave already. And I think moving forward through, I also think that moving through and post divorce requires us to continue to tap into bravery because there's so many different things along this journey that you might not expect, might not want to see, but each one of these experiences takes bravery. And going back to that episode that I did on the 8 C's of the higher self, one of those is courage. And to have courage to be brave, courage to do hard things. This is when you tap into your higher self. I want to give you 5 things to consider today that will help you in your practice of brave. I'm going to put these 5 things in the show notes so you don't have to worry about writing and driving at the same time. The first one that I want to talk about that I really think helps us to implement the practice of bravery is establish that connection to yourself and focusing on self-control, the things that only you can control. Because moving forward in bravery takes conscious choice. It is not something that just happens. This is something where you use your agency to choose into. Conscious choice requires you to also be in your body. It requires you to trust your body. My granddaughter is trusting her little growing body, despite the reality that she will fall. She could get hurt. She's trusting that her little body will get her up those stairs to the top of that platform where, again, her favorite thing is the slide. And so whatever is up on top of that platform for you right now requires you to trust your body, that your body instinctively and intuitively knows how to do it, despite it's being subjected to the fall, right? Just like my granddaughter, she doesn't know that she could fall. She's not thinking about the fall. She's not thinking about how much it's going to hurt. All she's thinking about is putting one hand up on that bar and getting that next leg up on the bar below it and moving forward one arm and leg at a time up to that platform. We don't have that luxury anymore with adult brains, unfortunately, but your body still instinctively and intuitively knows how to put one arm up on that next bar and move the leg up onto the bottom one, pulling yourself up. It intuitively knows how to do this. So when we trust our bodies, when we trust ourselves, when we start to connect to ourselves, it absolutely helps us in our practice of bravery. As growing humans, like my little granddaughter, we are always falling. She's always falling. From the moment she started trying to crawl up on her arms, her arms couldn't hold out very long, and so she'd fall. She started to walk. She fell. She started to do all these things. Now climb up on ladders and stairs. She is always at risk and has always been at risk of the fall. That's part of being human. I'm watching this little human over her 22 months of life fall over and over and over. It reminds me that we are not going to get out of the fall in our life and as humans. In fact, the fall has already happened, right? You Christian believers know what I'm talking about. So when we're trying to do something brave, when we're trying to climb up to that platform, just notice how your brain is going to give you all the reasons why you're going to fall or fail. I just want you to remember that falling, failing is part of the human experience. From the very beginning, we fall out of the mother's womb. We fall as we're learning to walk, and we're going to fall as we practice bravery. So get into your body, believe that your body knows what it's doing, trust your body. This connection to self, body, mind, and spirit is and what's in your control bubble, right? So what do I what do I have control over? And I think this is important too. When we're talking about what's on that platform. Like what is on that platform also needs to match what's in your control bubble, meaning you can bravely move forward towards divorce, towards creating a business, getting a job, managing finances. But if at the top of that platform also lives, well, I can only get there if my ex or if this person or this situation will blank. I can only survive financially if he pays child support, right? That is not in your control bubble. Believe me, that's been out of my bubble for over a decade. So the goal is that I will survive financially by creating new ways to make money or get financial support, right? That can be the top of your platform that you're bravely taking steps towards up that ladder, embodied. I feel nervous. I feel scared a little bit or a lot of it. I feel a rush come over my body the higher I get. I feel a little bit of that separation anxiety as I see the safety of the ground below getting further and further away. But I keep moving bravely forward. Start doing the things that bring you into your body, letting go of things that are not in your control. This is how you can prepare for bravery. Okay, the next thing is setting micro goals. My son in law had my little baby on the small platform, thank goodness, right? The small slide in the park. He's not sending her up the giant twisted slide right now, although she would totally do it because she's a little spitfire. But he's starting out with smaller, attainable goal for her to climb up to this platform and go down this small slide. I want to encourage you to do this too. Start with smaller, attainable goals around an area that you are wanting to be brave in. This helps with the overwhelm as well as gives you really more of a fighting chance to arrive at and achieve your goal, right? So when you fall, because remember, you're going to fall, things will not always work out. We might have a little slip of the shoe or not as tight of a grip. It's not going to kill you because we're not at the tippy top trying to do something new. So we're setting micro goals along the way. Maybe you open your own checking account, right? Maybe you put your resume together. Those are micro goals to a bigger goal that many of you are wanting to achieve right now. You might want to start a business, but a micro goal for that looks like what right now? Maybe it's putting a business plan together. Maybe it's talking to people about the business and who maybe own that business or do that thing and seeing what they've learned. You start small and achieve one small thing at a time, allowing yourself to, there we go, the embodied, right? Feel the nerves, feel the doubt, feel all of that, but you're going to keep moving up that ladder towards the platform of that micro goal. Or you might want to have the goal of not being so triggered by your ex when he texts you. So a micro goal might be limiting your communication, boundary your communication. Those are small steps towards the larger goal. And with that one, it's so important because when I have a client come to me and say like, my goal is to never get triggered by him again. I'm like, okay, so what boundaries do you have? And they'll be like, well, none. Or I try to have boundaries, but he busts right through them. Like, okay, well, let's get off the tall, twisted slide. Let's come over to the other one and let's set a micro goal. Because if they don't, then when they fall off that huge, tall, twisty slide, then they beat themselves up on the fall down. And it's like a double beating. It's like a double whammy. So let's not do that. Micro goal your way bravely to the top. This also allows for moments of celebration around the steps that you do take. When you accomplish that resume, celebrate before you put it out there into the world. Celebrate that you accomplished putting your resume together. I'll never forget sitting in my parents' house because we were living with them at the time, putting my resume together. And I don't even think I put a resume together in the previous jobs that I had. I don't think I needed one in those jobs that I had in high school or early college. And so this was like a big deal for me. And I remember my sister, because I'm the oldest, my younger sister helping me put this resume together and feeling so insecure and so stupid, honestly, because I'm like my younger sister. I'm like, please help me, because I have no idea how to put a resume together. It felt so overwhelming. I know some of you who are maybe pros at putting your resume together are like, what? But this was a big deal for me. I mean, getting a job was like the tall, twisted slide. It felt way too scary, overwhelming, can't climb all the way up there. Putting a resume together was like a micro goal. It was like, okay, it took everything, took all the energy that I had at that time to really put this together. And I did feel so proud of myself when I did finally finish the resume and had it all together. It did feel good. It did feel like a win. Of course, my amazing sister celebrated that win with me. Celebrate your brave steps. When you fall down and take a tumble, celebrate how you pick yourself back up, shake off the wood chips, and climb again. Okay, the next one, ask for help. I really want to emphasize the importance of this one and allowing others to help you. And this really does play into our ability to practice being brave. I know that you all are amazing, badass women and have done hard things and can do hard things. I only want to be friends with you kind of people because you have done incredibly hard things. You don't always have to do the hard things alone. You can ask for help. You can ask help from safe people and you can accept the help from safe people. It will help you in your practice of brave. I was so blessed to have help along the way, but I had to ask for it and it was so hard. I had to overcome pride. I had this fake idea that I needed to do this ridiculously hard thing all by myself and that it would somehow give me this badge of honor or people would believe me if I did the hard thing by myself. They would respect me more, or that people would expect me to do this hard thing on my own and I get praised for doing it. And then that felt good. And so I just kept feeling like I can't ask for help. So, whatever message your brain is offering you about asking for help, receiving help, I just wonder how useful that thought is for you right now. This can also help us from resentment and martyrdom. Like, I go and set out to do this brave heart thing. I do it on my own, by myself. I don't ask for help. I slip, I fall. No one is there. I'm alone. I stand up and I look around to see that I am alone. Then I resent my ex for making me alone. I resent friends or family for abandoning me in this hard, but I didn't ask for help. And not from those unsafe people, but from safe support who would be there when I fall. Or I say, I got this. I can do this. I should do it alone. And then I fall. And now I'm saying, see, I have to do this all by myself. Or I shouldn't have to do this all by myself. All of that is not only not brave, but it's not empowered either. So ask for help, seek support when you have someone witnessing your efforts and your bravery, encouraging you, someone who loves you. It eases up the efforts that we sometimes put into working against ourselves in our own practice of bravery. My little granddaughter's parents guide her little bottom up those stairs, right? They don't touch her, but sometimes I see them just, their hands are right there just in case she falls. They're not pushing her, but they're supporting her. They're being there. And if she has a little slip, they can catch her. Or if she falls to the ground, they're there to witness it, validate it, help brush off the bark, kiss her boo-boo, and encourage her to try again. Your support people are there to encourage your bravery, not discourage it. Your support people are there to help pick you back up when you fall and tell you that your goal is still possible and to keep trying. Okay, the next one is creativity. Creativity is a powerful catalyst for bravery, especially in the context of this major life-changing experience of divorce or post-divorce healing. When you begin to engage in creative activities, this helps you to rediscover your agency. It helps you to recognize your potential. It helps you to initiate change and begin to see yourselves as the creator of your lives. Creativity absolutely intertwines with this concept of bravery. Think about creativity as exploration. How many of you are wondering how you're going to figure something out in your life right now, right? How am I going to work? How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to file the papers that you never wanted to file or sign the papers that you never wanted to sign? How are you going to tell the kids? How are you going to tell the family, right? Your fear brain is absolutely going to limit your options to all of those hows. It's going to limit the options on how to do any of those things. So creativity and exploration are absolutely essential to bravery here. When you tap into this creativity, it's going to ease up the anxiety. It's going to move you more towards that state of what we call flow, right? Where you clear up some of that catabolic energy that I talked about a few weeks ago, make space for anabolic energy. And remember, that's the healing and restoring energy. Creation lives there in that energy. When you tap into creativity, you problem solve rather than the problem determining your limited path. You're going to see options. At one point, my granddaughter will get more creative and start climbing up the slide to get to the top rather than the stairs. She's going to find another way to reach her goal. There's always options. Agency requires it. Moving out of victim requires it, demands it. Okay, the last one. And I have to include this one because my mentor, Brene Brown, she doesn't know that she's my mentor, but my mentor, Brene Brown, and her work on vulnerability and how it shows that bravery isn't just about overcoming a fear, it's about being vulnerable. She proposes that courage and bravery arise from our willingness to face our vulnerabilities, to move through them rather than avoiding them or suppressing them. Your job here is to create environments where you can feel safe and express your vulnerabilities. This is what promotes courage and bravery. I see this happen every week with my Believing in You members who lean into vulnerability and hard and uncomfortable, but they are reclaiming their vulnerability as part of their wise femininity. Betrayal violence robs you of your reality. It hijacks your wise femininity. And remember that trifecta of wise femininity is intuition, sensitivity, and vulnerability. Healing requires those to get back in balance. When I watch these ladies and witness their bravery as they lean into their vulnerability, sensitivity, and intuition, oh my gosh, they are healing themselves and they're getting that wise femininity back in balance. So practicing to be vulnerable with yourself, being real and honest with yourself, being vulnerable with other safe people in safe environments in those spaces to help you start getting that back in balance. We're really afraid to be vulnerable. It is so scary because, again, of course, right? That's what betrayal violence is. It absolutely hijacked something beautiful that you gave, something honorable that you let someone be a part of and aware of that misused it, abused it, betrayed it. You didn't cause it. You didn't do anything wrong. You gave willingly and beautifully. But when you have this experience, this detrimental experience of betrayal violence, we've got to bravely get it back. Get back what you earned, what you so beautifully already have. Remember that episode that I did with Hope Ray on wise femininity? We talked about how this is something that you inherently already have. You don't need to go out and get vulnerability. You don't need to go out and get intuition and sensitivity. That's already within you. We need to bravely own it again, practice it again, live it again. And gosh, does that take bravery? But you can do it. Like I said in the beginning, don't give up. Don't you quit and stop practicing to be brave in your life right now, where you're all parts of you, but you need yourself to be brave more than ever. Those of you who have children need you to be brave more than ever. Your future, your potential needs you to be brave. Your future self needs you to be brave more than ever. One step on those metal, thin, slippery bars at a time. Okay, that is all for y'all today. Those 5 principles, again, practice. Those will be in the show notes, along with a few other resources that you can check out, including the link to Believing in You membership for those of you who are ready to gain more awareness and start practicing being brave in a safe space and really do the self-reflecting work that's required to take your healing to that next level, to start believing in your ability to be brave, to believe something new about yourself, your body, about your future, and really learn how to be the chooser in your life, because you can. Take care, everybody. All right, those of you who might be considering dating again, I have another opportunity for you to lean in to something brave. Join my Dating from Within workshop. This is actually all about learning how to be brave. It's not about really going out and dating right now. Now, if you are, awesome. You're really going to want to take this as well. But Dating from Within starts about a brave look into your past relationship. And we need to bravely look at the present and look at how we might be thinking and feeling and why we're actually having the results that we are currently having in this experience. Even if the result is you aren't having any dating experiences. Then we also want to look at the future, bravely creating hope again, trust again, knowing that you can actually have a healthy relationship. The next workshop is May 23rd through 25th. This is going to be the last one that I will be doing until the fall. So for those of you who are thinking of dipping your toe into the dating world this summer, then I highly recommend you sign up for this workshop. The link to register is in the show notes. All right, everyone, I will see you next time. Take care.
I was born to fly and spread these wings and find my own. I am coming home. Today will be the day, it all will change. Nothing, no one's in my way. Today will be the day.